Good morning, everyone. It's Tess, and today is tip 81. And I tried the new tool that Glenn gave me again. I'm going to show a book, and this is something that I've been working with the past couple months. One of my APs from Doc V's group introduced me to this, and it's called, I have to get used to the phone being backwards, Unlimited Zara Mahoon. And she actually, when you purchase this book, she has an online community where you can actually follow, and for 40 days, she goes through this book. Because what this book is it's a 40-day law of attraction workbook. And it kind of follows a lot of the patterns and a lot of the learnings that I've learned in Doc V's challenge. And it presents a day-by-day thought and a talk behind the thought, and then it kind of gives you the things that I've talked about in the past that have really helped me in the past year, where I start every day with a positive statement, I end every day with a positive statement, and like appreciating things, and wouldn't it be nice if, and thinking about and being positive about the stuff in your life. So I guess really what I wanted to do today is I wanted to talk a little bit about this book, because it talked about something that is near and dear to my heart. And it kind of talked about, this book talks about all things are possible. And what I've learned in the past year is that my biggest obstacle has been my mind and where my thoughts go. And we kind of know that we feel good or bad based on what we're thinking about. So I've been working to make sure that I keep my thoughts in a positive place. If I'm in a positive place, all things are possible. And that is definitely day one for, the journal for Unlimited. And what I want to say is that I know that too often I, for some reason, had in my mind that there was only one possibility of what the future was supposed to be. And I was striving so hard to find that one path that I always second guessed whether I was on the right path. And I think what I've learned in the past year, it's nothing, the only thing you can do is keep forward momentum. There isn't an absolute 100% one path. As things come up in our life, we may end up having to go around, learn other tasks, but we just have to keep forward motion, but it's not an absolute right, left, yes, no. It's a journey of learning, and the journey of learning presents branches and opportunities for growth. So that's kind of what I've had to learn this past year. And in doing that, in keeping my thoughts in a positive place. And by a positive place, like Zahara Mahoon will talk about emotional scale. High, of course, we know is love, joy, happiness, and low is those places that are desperation and sadness. So I've enjoyed this book. I've enjoyed the programs I've been involved with her. I would highly recommend her book. And the cool thing about her book is that if you purchase it, you can become a member of the online community. And she actually talks about this book every day. And what's kind of cool is that it's provided me opportunities to shift the way I think, or to give me tools to shift the way I think. A lot like Doc V's program. I can now, I recognize that there isn't one perfect answer, and that I can be ready and agile and shift as I need to shift. One thing that she talks about that really kind of helps me a lot is if I'm starting to shift into a negative place, I use nature as an anchor to pull me back to keep thinking positive. And kind of like I even created a vision board, which is actually right behind me because you can see the 5-leaf clover, but it's full of nature, like sunrises and sunsets and 4-leaf clovers and things that will draw me to a happy place if work is going difficult. So I may actually pull that book in today and put it above my computer again, because it was above my computer all during the worst part of busy season, because it draws me in. Hi, Nicole. Nicole is very familiar with this Unlimited book that I'm talking about today, but giving me a tool so that I can every day start with keeping my mind in a positive place and moving forward. I love that, like, she has a whole setup what each day is, and I would recommend this book to anyone who's interested in trying to take a new look at life. Oh, thank you, Nicole. Hello to you too. Because my life in this past year has changed for the positive, because I'm starting to understand, one, that there's not one absolute answer, and two, that I can change how I'm feeling at any point in time by shifting my thoughts. And I do use my, I got to get used to this phone. I do use my board behind me, which is my, like I said, my nature board that I keep above my computer during the worst part of busy season. And it's full of, maybe I can actually show you guys. It's full of nature, and it's got like 4-leaf clovers. I actually even have 4-leaf clovers that I myself have collected. And I find that that is comforting to me and draws me back to a positive place if I've been pulled away. And what I wanted to talk about today too is in reading this book, because we go over it every single day in her online Facebook group if you buy the book, she was talking about, I think it was yesterday, a treasure. And we all know I like treasure chests because that's kind of what I named my YouTube channel. But in the talk that she said, and this will just give you guys an idea of shifting our thoughts. She was talking about how, just imagine if you were on an island and they told you there was a treasure on the other side. And that if you got to the other side, the treasure was yours. But many, many people have failed along the way. Well, you're afraid to try that. And a lot of us live in that place of fear. But what if you had somebody to guide you? If you just gave them a chance to guide you, what if you had somebody to guide you? What if you, in this talk that she was saying, she talked about having a friend in a helicopter that flew above the forest and was able to walkie-talkie you and tell you where you could go to go around the difficult struggles that everybody else faced who perished on the way to that treasure. And ultimately the person gets to the other side and they get the treasure. And what she was kind of saying is God actually is that person in that helicopter guiding us. But for too often, we let our thoughts go into that negative place, which is not the place of joy and happiness, and we don't end up getting to the treasure. And during this time of difficulties, I want to make sure I keep working towards that place of treasure, that place of great rewards, that place where I know God wants me to go. And I think that if we can keep remembering, the one obstacle that I've probably struggled with the most is I've always thought there was an absolute one right path to go. And I'm recognizing there isn't, because every time we stumble, somebody, whether you want to call it God or source or however you want to label it, somebody has to create a new path for you. So the path is never going to be exact, and you have to be able to shift as that path changes. And we create the changes, and if we understand that all we have to do is keep moving forward and keep ourselves in a place of excitement and happiness as we move forward, we'll get there faster. And this past year, I think the reason that I've succeeded at weight loss, for those that don't know, I am a bariatric patient. I lost 116 pounds 20 years ago, got sick, gained it all back, then ended up having bariatric surgery. I lost 115 pounds, held it steady there for 2 years. COVID hit, I got scared, I started to gain, and then through this time of COVID, I've lost another 37. So I know that controlling how I think has helped me hugely. And I guess I just wanted to share that with you, is that we all may be waiting for a treasure that's on the other side of the island, and we just have to be open and recognize that it's not an absolute perfect path, but let's let that guy upstairs guide us to get to that path. Let's stay open. And in staying open to keep ourselves feeling positive about the journey, find something that'll make you feel happy. I think for most of us, it is nature, a beautiful flower. For me, 4-leaf clovers and 5-leaf clovers, because that's something I always found with my grandma. But there's a path, a beautiful path for all of us. So if you take a few minutes and remember and find tools to always keep you in a positive place, it makes your journey so much easier. And for me, vision boards is a big thing. I'll actually create those pictures of nature and beauty so that when I'm falling into a negative place, and that helped me hugely during busy season, when I was starting to feel a fall, I would look at those pictures and it would bring me up to a happy place. And my work day and my life is better when I feel better. And we've just had a lot of negative thoughts lately and in this past year. So I guess I just wanted to share with you guys some of the tools that I've been using to keep myself in a happy place feeling good and moving forward. I'm going to have to hang up and get to work, but thank heaven it's only in the next room. But I just wanted to kind of touch base and say that every day, if you just do, good morning, Joan. Every day, if you just do one little tool, just one thing to keep yourself moving forward. And for me, it is every day I wake up with positive statements. I end my day with positive statements. And I try to keep my thoughts and my energy in happiness, joy, and love, because all of us know that staying low, feeling despair and anger and disappointment, it just doesn't help our journey. And ultimately, we're not hurting anybody else, but we're hurting ourselves. Oh, thank you, Nicole. And Nicole is actually part of this group with me. We actually, and that's the nice thing about Unlimited, is that she does go live every day too. And finding all these people that are seeking to better themselves every day, it has helped me to stay positive in a time when so many are finding negative. So I hope that this helps you guys. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day. I'm off to work, and I hope your days are beautiful. And just remember, if you're starting to have a struggle, have a beautiful picture. I pulled most of those except for the 4 and 5 leaf. Well, they're all 4 leaf. All the 4 leaf clovers, those I found myself, but everything else up there are just pictures I pulled from YouTube. And it is something that will draw me back in as soon as I start to struggle. So you guys have a beautiful day. Thank you for listening. And I'm sending you light, love, happiness, and beautiful pictures. Bye-bye.